folks, what is going on? It's Jacob coming at you from a very, very different location today. I am out on the east coast of Australia on this massive, massive cruise ship. It's called Quantum of the Seas. It's for a friend's 30th birthday, and we're moving at the moment. We're heading back down south. We've been out here for a few nights, and we're heading back to Brisbane so that I can ultimately end up back home on the Gold Coast for the new week, just a few nights away, catch up with some friends for a 30th birthday. It's been a lot of fun. We've got a kind of a final dinner tonight, a chef's table type dinner with a wine pairing and everything, which I'm really looking forward to. That's in about an hour. But I thought I'd take this opportunity, just film a quick video, bring you guys on the road with me a little bit, I guess. And there's something I've been wanting to talk a little bit about, so I figured I'd take this opportunity, and the setting is almost a little bit symbolic of what I want to talk about as well, because this concept is what allows me to be able to take trips like this and keep everything running in the business. We've had new clients sign on while I've been away using our no-call sales methodology, which I'll touch on a little bit shortly. And it's really how we've structured up the business and the model of consulting that we use that allows me to be able to not be chained to my desk all day, not have to be on calls all day, have a very, very loose and flexible calendar. Okay, and so what that concept is something that I've been talking about a lot more lately, especially if you're over in my Facebook group, and if you aren't already, click the link in the description and come join us. Lots of cool stuff coming over there. Is this concept called leveraged consulting. Okay, now people talk a lot about consulting, they talk about coaching, and this is a new concept that I'm really trying to bring to the market, which is, when I think about coaching and I think about the coaching industry, I think about these massive group programs, right? Like literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. We've used that model, works really well. When I think more about consulting, and I've been doing consulting in some way, shape or form since about 2011, where I started my career, all the way up to multi-billion-dollar companies in the financial sector and consulting startups online and people doing 6, 7, 8 figures. Big range, right? When I think about consulting, I think about more of a tailored advisory approach, right? Like where you're giving more specific advice to an individual based on their situation. It's more bespoke, if you will, and typically it's going to be one-to-one or in a much smaller and more intimate setting, okay? Now, the problem with the traditional consulting model is that it loses leverage. Okay, and the concept that I really want to carry forward and popularize over the next few years is a leveraged consulting model where you can work with small groups without sacrificing profitability, without sacrificing cash flow, without sacrificing the intimacy that you're trying to build in that environment, so that people are seen and heard and they're getting the specific and tailored advice that they need, like a typical high-end consulting arrangement would do. But for the founder and for the CEO of the business, which is you, more than likely, you don't lose the leverage element and have to sit on one-to-one phone calls all day. And where this leverage consulting model flows into it is across delivery, but it's also across marketing, and it's also across sales, which is really our big 3 pillars when we zoom out. Aside from mindset, right? We've got what we're selling and how we deliver it. We've got how we sell it, our sales process, and we've got the marketing that we use in order to move people into our sales process. And so in this leverage consulting approach, we really, really double down on leverage in every one of those pillars. Okay, I'll touch on those quickly, but this is just a kind of an introductory video to this concept that I've been talking about more, and I'm going to continue to be talking about more and more and more, right? So on the delivery side of things, we actually build a multi-layered delivery model that allows us to work with people in a small group setting plus what we call leveraged one-to-one consulting, right? Which is a really, really cool concept I'll save for another video. And then true one-to-one, where we're meeting with people for calls every 2 weeks, but they're also in that group part. So we structure up the delivery model to be really effective for the person receiving the advice, the client, but also really, really leveraged for the person running the business. And we do that by having tiers. The other thing that we integrate, which is what creates leverage as well, is a big focus on monthly recurring revenue. Okay, so what we're trying to increase is the number that's locked in at the start of the month, instead of just chasing end of month revenue or profit numbers, we want to keep increasing the number on day one. Okay, what this means is that each month you don't have to take on 100 new clients. You could take on like 5, right? And so you're building a very, very profitable business with a lot of stability in your cash flow without needing lots and lots of clients coming on every month, because more people is more problems. Okay, this model, which I'm not going to talk about in this video, this model also allows you to have a really, really small team, okay, which again, very, very advantageous for the founder because it's fewer people to manage. Right, so that's on the delivery side. We use this multi-layered leverage model where it's got group at the base of it, but it's a small group, it's a really intimate group. And then for the people that want additional support, we layer that on as well. And each of those adds bands of monthly recurring revenue so that we're increasing the number that's locked in at the start of every month. Okay, there's a lot more detail we can go into around that, but that's on the delivery side. That's how we structure things up with that multi-layered monthly recurring revenue approach. Okay, on the sales side of things, we've eliminated phone calls. Okay, because here's the problem with phone calls. You've got an offer, right? And once you've sold a few of it and you're dialing it in, when you get on the phone, you or your team is having to explain the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. And that by definition means that there's no leverage, right? Because you're putting an input in to get an output, right? Whereas the way we do things, we sell in the DMs, we create an offer asset in the form of a document that explains everything that people need to know about the offer, and we simply send it over. So what that means is that we're channeling all of our energy into capturing the key elements of the offer in that asset, in that document, which means that we do it once, right? We'll keep improving it, but we do it once and we can send it to people over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? So we've got leverage in the sales process. Okay, so now we've got leverage in delivery, we've got leverage in the sales process, and the marketing element, we lean heavily on content, okay? We lean heavily on creating assets that might be longer form videos, they could be shorter form videos, they could be short form written posts, long form written posts, they could be free resources. I just released a new playbook and ebook that went live on my Facebook profile and in the Facebook group. Go check them out, where I talk about our DM deals model. And that had over 400 people raise their hands who can now read the 30-page ebook and become indoctrinated into the way that we do things. So I create that once, and hundreds and eventually thousands and thousands of people can consume that. So we invest our energy into creating content assets on the marketing side of things such that it's compounding over time. When I create a video like this, I capture my 10, 12 minutes of time, and then it can go into multiple places and it can bring us people for months and years. I've got content that I created years ago that still brings us leads every day. Okay, so when you hear me talking about leveraged consulting, I'm talking about how we're integrating as much leverage as possible into those 3 pillars, into how we structure up the offer, into how we run the sales process, eliminating calls, and into how we do our marketing by building these marketing assets that attract leads to us, pre-sell them, we have a quick conversation, then that offer asset kicks in, and then boom, they're into a leveraged delivery environment because we set things up the right way. So that was a very, very quick overview, but it is something that I've been talking about more and more, and I'm going to continue to talk about more and more. So I wanted to get it on the record. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to leverage consulting. It's a more tailored, more bespoke approach to consulting, but we're doing it in a way that means that the founder, the CEO, can have a small team, they don't lose their life, their calendar's not packed out, and they can still work with a very, very small group of people while still building a highly profitable and really consistent cash flow profile in the business. Right, I'm really excited to talk to you about this concept more and more, go deeper into each of these 3 pillars, and hopefully work with some of you in order to implement this into your own business, because we've been doing this, in particular, the refined version of this model for the last 2 years, and I've been having more fun. Things have been simpler than ever, and it's a blast. So I'm excited to continue to share this with you. And with that all said, see the sun's setting behind me, beautiful. I'm gonna go shower, chuck on my suit, and we're going out to dinner. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.